Hey guys, so this is moving into section B and C, of course, where you've got a case study. In each of your papers you're going to get 2 analyse questions. Represents therefore about 13% of your overall GCSE grade. So let's take a look at these 6-mark questions, which can be quite tricky if you don't know how to actually structure your answer. Right, now there are some similarities here really with what we've seen with the discuss question. The key difference really is this here, okay? And the fact is that on the analyse question, because you are now dealing with case studies in section B of your exam paper, and that's where the analyse question will feature, that you've got 3 marks available for application. Now, just as a general sort of guide, therefore, you should be looking at generating 3 distinct points of application in your answer. Now, further to that, you can see that we've then got AO3A, which is that analysis that's required to show deep level understanding within the context of the case study. Now, the best way perhaps to actually answer this question, my preferred approach would be to actually go, right, identify a point, whether it's a benefit, if the question's asking for a benefit, a drawback, if it's asking for a drawback, or whether it's asking for the impacts. You could do benefits and drawbacks. You identify that point and you say, this is because this leads to, therefore, plus you got your BLT plus your mild chili, or alternatively if you prefer melted cheese. So you've got that structure there to really help you. Now you must have this AO3 top level 5 linked strands of arguments here. So therefore, if you've got your identification point, you've then got your this is because leading to therefore, and then your moreover would actually be your 5th point. But we're just hedging our bets really with this consequently point that you can then raise. The alternative approach, if you're struggling to actually answer the question in that sort of manner and stretch out your response appropriately, is to do 2 points which are slightly shorter. Now you've then got your identification point, your this is because leading to therefore, and then the IDLT, so leads to therefore of a 2nd point. Generally speaking, I would try to aim for this, but just bear in mind you need to embed application within your answer here. Right, so guys, now we're going to consider a case study. What I suggest you do with this case study is that you read through it, you pause the video, and then you actually look for your BMC. What is the business? Then consider your scope elements within that, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, costs and revenues of the business, the operations, the way in which it operates, as well as the positioning of the business and its target market. So think about all of those areas, as well as the market, as well as the case study and any key information you can use. All right, practice that approach now. Okay, so there's our case study. I'm not going to read through that. We're just going to move straight through to have a look at some questions on this case study. So here's our first question. So analyse the impact of higher interest rates on Burton A Cookery School. Now this tricky question, I've deliberately included this just as a means of actually revising interest rates. Interest rates, of course, the cost of borrowing and the reward for saving. Again, what I suggest you do now, based on your analysis of the business case study that you've got there, is have a go at actually answering this question. Remember, you've got to use that ID, BLT, plus your MC, and include at least 3 pieces of direct application. That cannot just be using the name of the business. That is not sufficient application. So give that a go now. Pause the video. So here's the answer that we've got here. So let's have a little look, see what we've got, and let's just really draw our attention to where in any areas of application. So first up, this would increase the cost of borrowing and reward for saving. This may mean demand for cookery courses falls. So that's our first piece of application there. This is because borrowers face higher repayments, leading to a fall in sales of cookery courses. Okay, so that's just repeated really. Therefore, the business may choose to offer some special promotions to the captive tourist market. That's really our second distinct point of application. Moreover, some foreign tourists may not have been subjected to the higher interest costs. Now, that's a more subtle understanding of interest rates, and that is that the UK has an interest rate set by the Bank of England, but that may not apply to some European visitors, for instance. Consequently, it may mean that the cookery school should choose to market their services towards this market segment. So again, it's really just showing understanding of the target market in that last sentence and saying, right, so therefore they may really start targeting foreign tourists to attract more sales through them. Now we can see that we've also got 5 interlinked we can also see that we've got 5 interlinked strands of analysis here. So this is clearly a top level answer, okay? So that's 6 out of 6 there. Now, the alternative approach that you can do, because of course this is asking for an impact, you could consider a benefit, you could consider a cost here, and you get credit either way. So within this answer, we can see our areas of application include this point right here about cookery courses. Then we've also got another little bit of application here, serving more students, okay? But that's as deep as the application actually runs here. So based upon this, the analysis is strong, and there's 5 interlinked points. Okay, we've got 2 separate points, of course, and then the development of those points. So really this would score level 3 analysis, but it would probably only receive level 2 in terms of the application, and therefore just 5 out of 6. All right. Okay, let's look at another question here. Again, pause the video, have a go at answering this now. So analyse the benefits of the choice of location for Burton Cookery School. So with this, of course, we've got to focus on benefit or benefits, all right? So you cannot look at any sort of drawbacks, i.e. that it could be quite expensive, that it's in a historic city and so on, okay? You can't do that with this answer. Right, so here we are as a historic city. Nice application. Bath is frequently visited by tourists, okay? So that's a clear benefit point. Important because it provides the school with a captive tourist audience. So we've got nice application in addition to the local population, and that's a good point as well. This leads to the prospect of greater sales revenue. Therefore, the cookery school is more likely to be profitable. Moreover, its location close to London, again, more application to the case study here, offers the prospect of people doing day trips or weekend breaks. Furthermore, the large potential target audience and historic city means that a premium price can be charged. So although it mentions historic city twice here, really it's doing it in 2 different ways, because one is talking about that draws in tourists, and the second point is relating to that is the fact that it would then mean that they can charge premium prices for the courses that are available there within this cookery school. So this answer would receive level 3 for analysis, level 3 for application. So there we go, guys. That's just a little introduction to the Analyse questions that you'll face in your exams and how to structure these answers really, really nicely. They're very similar to the discussed ones. The big difference is that you've got to get that application, as we've seen. What I suggest you do, go back through this and now test yourself again if you haven't done so already, okay? Work on improving the quality of your answers there. Great stuff. See you next time.